warning before you listen. This epic is not for children, nor for the faint of heart. We retell the ancient Greek myths as they were born, unfiltered, unsoftened. Scenes of violence, curses, betrayals, and a hunger for power that shows no mercy. Given the many conflicting versions of the Titan War, the events have been rebuilt to complete the missing pieces. Here, we tell the myth as it was meant to be told. Sources and references are listed in the episode description. Chapter 40. From War of the Titans, Clash of Weapons and the Fall of Time, the Alignment of Fronts. When earth, sea, and sky speak as one. When the battle lines are drawn, no soul remains free. Even silence must take a side. The sound of war drums rolls through the heavens, shattering against mountain cliffs, echoing from the ocean's abyss. The wind no longer blows without cause. The earth does not tremble on its own, and waves rise only when they carry a warning. In that moment, the fronts aligned. The sky, Zeus's front. From the cracks of thunderclouds emerged an army of lightning. Wings of sharpened light, foreheads gleaming with the fury of divine wrath. At their center stood Zeus himself. His lightning bolt blazed, without him needing to summon it. His body stood like a spear. His voice was not spoken, it was struck. Behind him, thousands of storm angels, soldiers of lightning, horns of thunder, descendants of the storm. And waiting ahead, a shadow from the dawn of time, Hyperion, the Titan born before the light, whose hands once guided the stars. Hyperion did not speak, but all who looked upon him felt the same question scream within. Do you think lightning will give you life, or erase you from it? The sea, Poseidon's front. The ocean split open, and from its depths surged a force like nothing else on earth. Serrated fish armed with tridents, walking storms crashing forward on two legs, faces carved from seabed stone. Soulless, merciless. At the helm, Poseidon. His trident cracked the horizon merely by rising. No army stood behind him, the sea itself stood with him. On the distant shore, awaiting the clash, stood Thaumas, Titan of sea storms, who, with a single breath, could vaporize entire oceans. At his side, Perses, wreathed in searing flame, bearer of an earth-crushing shield, clutching a mountain as if it were a sacrifice, not a weapon. The earth, front of the Hekatoncheires. They erupted from beneath the soil like resurrection itself. Briareus, Cotus, and Gyges. Each 100 arms, 100 fists, 100 ways to crush the bones of time. With every step, the ground fractured beneath their heels. The roots of mountains snapped beneath their chests, and across from them stood Atlas, no longer shouldering the sky, but wielding a blade forged from falling stars. He drove it into the earth and declared, "Today, I will not lift the heavens. Today, I will crash them down upon you." The rear stronghold, Mount Olympus. As the fronts surged forward, a different kind of shadow slithered behind. Erebus, the embodiment of darkness, moving like wildfire through the cracks of mountains. He sought not open war, but the one weak point, where betrayal could be whispered like poison. At his side, Coeus, the mind harvester, the Titan who could debate a soul into forgetting its own name before slicing it open. Their destination, Olympus, and its lone defender, Hades. Wounded, unyielding, in a place unknown to any army, in a cave forgotten by time, where sound does not echo and light dares not touch. A woman sat in silence, wrapped in a gray shawl spun from mountain stillness, staring into a fire that would not burn, sipping water that refused to quench. Rhea, the mother who birthed lightning, sea, and shadow, the mother who chose not to watch as war devoured her sons. But in that moment, her silence cracked, her hand trembled, her breath shattered without wind. She pressed her palm to her chest and whispered, "One of them will break tonight, and blood will knock upon a door that has never opened before." She stared into the darkness, as though awaiting not news, but ash. Then, the echo of a distant heartbeat, followed by absolute stillness. The sound of an explosion, not from impact, but from two eyes meeting across a void. The steps of giants crushing the land, a wing slicing the sky, a wave rising, not to crash, but to stand. Everything was now in its place. Every front had met its opposite. There would be no retreat. Even night had donned its armor, and the earth, it would witness, not judge. In the next chapter, the war shall begin, the war for which lightning was born, for which the sea was cursed, and the shadows suffocated. This is no longer just war. This is the beginning of what comes after the gods. This chapter of the epic has come to an end, but remember, what you've just heard is not a record of facts, but the echo of a myth, a story born from the imagination of the ancients, etched into the long memory of humankind. If this tale stirred something in you, if it opened a door to reflection or wonder, don't forget to support the channel and share the journey with those you love. And in the comments, tell us which moment in this chapter struck you the most and why. We'll meet again in the next chapter of this audio odyssey through time. Until then, farewell.